To the Ottawa City Commission study session. Do we have any public comments?
Sir.
Great, thank you. Moves us on to items to be placed on our regular city commission agenda, which is our minutes from the January 30th study session, our February 1st regular meeting, and our February 6th study session. Commissioners, did you have a chance to look those over? Are there any changes or suggestions? You want to move those on to our regular agenda? Okay, thank you. So moves on to items for presentation and discussion. The first one is an ordinance vacating the utility easement in the Wildcat 2 edition. Director Landis. Good afternoon.
Good afternoon. In your packet is an ordinance vacating the 20-foot utility easement running over the west 20 feet of the lots 1, 2, 3, and 4 in the Wildcat 2 edition. This is near the central RV location. And this is the planning commission reviewed the vacation of the easement. They held a public hearing and approved to move this on to you for your consideration. The request was submitted to the Development Review Committee and the Utility Advisory Committee for review. There were no comments received in objection of the vacation request from the utility providers, and the easement doesn't affect any other property owners. Currently that property is it's in the process of being sold, and so the request is that if you don't have any issue with the ordinance being presented, that we would ask that you move that on to your next regular meeting and consider that for approval.
Did we receive a copy of that?
It's
The
pages 10 through 14.
On page 14, yeah, tell me where that is exactly.
Okay, well, so it is.
Dennis, do you know?
It runs from 68 Highway right up the west side of Wildcat Drive.
Okay.
And the easement runs right up into the end of the fourth lot.
I see. Okay, so it kind of L-shaped.
That was originally designed to parcel out those lots. And at the request of the owner and the new purchaser, they want to combine all that, and so we see no need for an easement in there at this point.
Commissioners, any other questions for Director Landis or Director Tharp? Would you like to move this on? Would you like to look at it again or move it on to the agenda for Wednesday?
I'm right moving it on.
Okay, we will move it on to Wednesday's agenda.
Okay, thank you so much.
I'll move us on to item 2, which is the ultraviolet disinfection system at the water reclamation facility. Director Tharp.
What we are bringing to you, commissioners, is our UV system for water reclamation facility. Our current UV system is seeing the end of its life, basically. While it is still functioning, we are doing way more repairs to it than we should be doing. And so as part of the ARPA funds, this was one of the projects that we had scheduled. And so what we are asking is just your nod that we go ahead and move forward with the replacing of the UV disinfection system at the wastewater plant.
How old is the current one we have?
Age of the plant, which is what, about 20 years now?
Is that normal lifespan for these?
Typically, yeah.
Do we know what the estimate we had was for this UV disinfection system?
And the original estimate, do you remember, Dan? I don't remember. Right
I think it
off
was
the top of my head.
5,000.
Commissioners, any other questions for Director Tharp?
Yeah, you do not want to have a plant that has a defective UV system.
The UV is the last stage of water going to the river, and it is what does the final cleaning, so to speak, of the water going to the river. And
It's what ensures when you go to Ottawa and you get water, tap water, that you're getting good tap water.
Because it was. I first saw that price, I got that, whoa, but I'm glad to see. Our building, so like you said, that it diminishes the stress, but gotta have it, it's not like a choice.
Yeah.
When do you expect they might start beginning of the work?
Well, as soon as we get a nod, we can move forward with getting the system ordered. And as I understood it, there was like a 6 to 8 week on this. I think it was something that we can get fairly quickly. And then installation, is probably another 30 days to get the installation done and get it up and running.
Anything that the public might notice while they're doing the work?
The public would notice not anything simply because the public does not deal with any of the water that goes back to the river. So this is the wastewater that of course is coming to us, and we're cleaning it and putting it back to the river. So the public is not going to notice anything at all.
So the space at the time.
Yes. Yeah.
Dennis, Dan, will the vendor that's replacing this salvage the existing one for us? I mean, take it off, get rid of it?
Actually, haven't had that full conversation yet. They can, or they can leave it on site. And then send it out there, we can use them. I will say it's a redundant system. So they'll replace 1.5 while the existing is still functioning. So there will be any interruption and service for that disinfection. So
Commissioners, any other questions for Director Tharp or Dan? Would you like to act on this one? Move it to Wednesday's agenda or see it again?
I think move it.
All right, we will move to Wednesday's agenda.
Thank you.
Thank you. That moves on to item 3, which is a resolution of support for housing investor tax credits for the Ottawa destination development. Welcome back.
Thank you. All right, so a couple of changes to the memo that you received, and I'll point those out. But wanted to make sure that you knew up front that there was a couple slight changes to that. This is very similar to the resolutions that we brought to you last week for 2 other different developments. This one is related to an apartment complex that is being submitted also under the MIH process through the county. And so this would be for the change is that it's for 2 apartment buildings now and 40 units. It doesn't change anything that's in the resolution because the max number of units that you can apply for is 40. So that hasn't changed at all. What's been presented to you in the packet, it's just that the project has changed slightly. The housing investor tax credits are just another resource that our developers are able to use right now. They have to apply for it. It has the same deadline as the MIH, but in a lot of those other cases, they're not actually seeking MIH funds. This project in particular is, however, and happy to answer questions. The request would be that if you are able to move this on to your Wednesday meeting, their deadline for submission is the 17th. And so having it available for consideration on Wednesday would be helpful. Do you have questions about that? Oh, I'm sorry. It was also brought to my attention. I didn't tell you in the memo where this is. So it is a 13-acre tract along K68 as you get close to the I-35 interchange. Anything you want to add?
No, you covered it good. The grant, they're going for the maximum MIH ARPA, so 3.5 million for the project is the MIH side of that.
And the only reason we're seeing it just is we have to have approval in this format, I guess, before we proceed.
Well, you don't support, but you don't approve per se. What the state wants to know is that the local government entity supports it. So if you don't vote to support it, that sends a disapproval message.
And in some cases, they only need, for other, some programs, they only need a letter of support from the city, but in this particular case for housing investor tax credit, they need a resolution from the local commission.
On a kind of related note, are counties allocated X amount of credits statewide? Are they, is there a maximum? I mean, I know there's a maximum amount per grant or per project, but can counties or cities receive an unlimited number of?
You know what, I had that note, there is a maximum amount per county. Do you know what that is? I'm sorry, I don't have that, but I could bring
Is that
it.
something you could bring on Wednesday?
Yes, I have it, I just didn't bring it down here with me, but yes, it is specific.
And what we've been granted so far. That's it.
Yes, it would all fit under what's available,
Mhm.
yes. Yeah, thank you, that's a great question, I didn't even think to bring that with me.
Commissioners, any other questions? You okay with moving this on to Wednesday's agenda?
Yeah.
Okay, that's what we'll do.
Okay, thank you so much.
This is on the comments by our city manager.
Well, I don't, but Michelle has an update she wants to give you at my time,
Come on up, Michelle.
All right.
about 30 minutes.
Okay. Okay. Good afternoon, Mayor and Commissioners. I wanted to let you know, our compensation study, we issued an RFP on December 1st of last year. We received, the deadline was the 13th of January. And we received 7 responses, actually sent out the RFP to 17 consulting firms. City staff, department directors interviewed 3, and we selected a finalist, McGrath Consulting or McGrath Human Resources Group. And the prices that we received ranged anywhere between $30,900 and one firm submitted 69, almost 70,000. And McGrath is going to cost 43,275. And if they do come out here, there's a travel max of 5,000. So we felt like they would be the best consultant for the organization. We have an agreement that Blaine will be reviewing, and our project kickoff will begin. We'll have an introductory meeting next week. And then the project will start beginning of March. It'll take 6 months. All right. It's really all I can share unless you want me to go through the steps, but we're excited to get to work on it.
Yeah, it's a different one than we've had before.
Yes,
Okay.
yes, CBIS was the former vendor.
Did they have to travel for any reason?
This, we can do this all virtually. We do not have to have someone come out on site. Great. Okay, any other questions? Okay, thank you.
28 minutes left.
Yeah.
Good job.
Well, I'll start reading it to you. page by page.
Thank you. Michelle, anything else? Okay. Comments by city commissioners, Commissioner Graves,
I have no comment.
Commissioner Taylor,
I have nothing to say.
Commissioner Clayton.
Just that you guys are welcome, that I brought back the really nice weather when I came back.
Appreciate that.
And you guys had snow Thursday, and I'm sorry, but I did the best I could to bring back this nice weather. So
Would appreciate that. Mayor Pro Tem Skidmore.
I would say it's exciting to see all this housing development going on. Paul, we've talked a long time about, we need housing, we need, we had 43 new units last year, and I think this will far exceed that with what we're looking at here today on these various projects. So it's good to see things are really taking off, and it's exciting. So I just say thank you for these people making their investment in Ottawa.
Great. I don't have any comments. I'll move on to the announcements. We have a regular meeting at 10 a.m. this Wednesday here at City Hall. We have a study session next Monday at 4 p.m. And then we have our joint city county USD 290 luncheon at 12 p.m. on the 22nd of February at the Franklin County Annex. Anything else coming before the commission? I'll adjourn.
Take care.